Now, one of the most dumb and ridiculous political concepts of our era has to be that of hate crime. It is the concept of persecuting a human emotion. And the question is like, what else are they going to persecute? Are they going to persecute greed? Are they going to persecute jealousy? It's so child. It's like something created in the academia for the average moron, right? Like morons don't understand the world, so like here's something simplified. You need to fight against hate crimes. And the thing is, like, I actually looked to see where this shit originates. Like, where does this mentally deficient concept of hate crime come from? And from what I found, is the Soviet Union. Like, if anyone can find its roots before that, please let me know. But the Soviet Union was the first that advocated against the concept of hate. And they didn't do it for altruistic measures, they did it in order to crack down on dissent. What they really meant is that when you create a society that's built around atheism, you gotta create a new word for sin. So, like, things like this, right, like hate incidents, what they really mean is like sinful behavior, unacceptable way of thinking. This is what they are trying to actually suggest, because it's cracking down on the belief of the person. It's not necessarily the action, because sometimes the action can just be like saying words, you know, like comparing someone with a Rottweiler or something like that. It's just like vocalizing. But the problem is like the belief, right? Like the thought policing. That's it. So yeah, like it came from the Soviet Union, and then it got taken by the European Union, and through various cultural movements such as feminism, they got politicized, and then they got placed into the bureaucracy to the point where they expanded, and you end up with absolute ridiculous things like, you know, a kid calling another kid that he smells like a fish, and now it's a hate incident that needs to be investigated by the cops. It's absolute madness. But, well, it's Britain, so, like, people put up with it, and again, it's like, the more atheistic a society, the more likely they will put value on these things, because, again, you need to have, like, some sort of concept of sin, where you get to police people for, behaving inappropriately. So, in the waste of taxpayer money, and take into account, right, like, this is another interesting thing, right, like, Britain is so desperate for cash that they have to tax the farmers even more, right? Like the poor government of Britain that's so impoverished, so desperate for cash that they have to look at the farmers for money. They also have the luxury and the wealth to waste police resources in order to apparently investigate hate crimes that include calling someone a Rottweiler or being called a Leonard over a row about a hedge. The NCHI are meant to be recorded for incidents clearly motivated by intentional hostility and where there is a genuine risk of significant escalation, government guidance says. But the police has been accused of wasting valuable time or investigating so-called hate crimes, such as aggressively administered haircut. I also remember, like, there was a video a couple of years ago with the man that said there's only two genders, and the police also said that it's a hate crime. It's a hate incident, because there's a difference, right? So, like, the difference between a hate crime and a hate incident is that and this, again, is, like, my understanding. If I'm not right, please correct me in the comment section. But a hate incident is not something that's illegal, but it's something that will be made into a statistic. So, for instance, when they say the number of hate incidents against women is on the rise, like, they can take stuff like the man that said it's only two genders and put it in a statistic. And then they will say, well, because the number of hate incidents are on the rise, we need to crack down more, we need to fund the police more, we need to give more money to the bureaucrats. Like, that's pretty much how it works, right? One former metropolitan detective said in the situation is ridiculous, saying that no wonder there is a crime wave in this country. Cases of reported hate crime include a Lithuanian customer who was unhappy with their haircut, claimed it was done deliberately because he spoke Russian, and the barber was allegedly aggressive and rough. The way this is made is that it's so subjective, it's purely at the person making the complaint, right? So if the person making the complaint feels subjectively like they feel that something bad was done against them because of ethnicity or gender or anything like that, then it's a hate incident. So I think like a lot of people are aware of the previous one reported where like a dog shat on a woman's porch, and she thought that's a hate incident, right? So it's like, and again, like it fits the definition, right? Because the person feels as if it was done because of their, so like, well, it's got to be reported. In one case, a German woman was linked to a Rottweiler in a parking dispute, and again, you know, like a lot of people will say, well, Britain is maddening. It's madness. The people want this. They desire this. Like the very fact that you have individuals reporting is the problem. Like if you did this in Romania, no one would fucking report. Like, okay, you got a parking incident, and someone screamed at you. Move the fuck on. Do you not have anything else to do in your day? Like, that's the problem. People are too wealthy, you know? Like, no society survives prosperity. If you actually have the time to pick up the phone and whine to the cops because someone was calling you a Rottweiler over a parking incident, then yeah, this is the society you create. This is what you deserve. What can I say? It's not just like how people vote or... No, it's the culture. It's the culture. Again, if you do this in Eastern Europe, if you were to make a law where people can report hate incidents, there wouldn't be that many reportings. Because people actually have important stuff to do in their life. Rather than just file police reports and being like, oh my goodness, you call me a Rottweiler. Yeah. Officers have also recorded incidents against children, such as one who called a fellow primary school pupil a retard. And against two schoolgirls who said that others didn't smell like fish. Again, these are kids talking to each other, right? Interesting. You know, I'm so glad that when I was in high school, I never heard anyone insulting another classmate ever. Like, Romania is a beacon of civilized society. In 2021, a man was investigated for racial hatred because he whistled the Bob the Builder tune at his neighbor. I mean, obviously. Wilshire police also investigated incidents where a person said that others were mocking the length of their hair. This nonsense undermined confidence in policing. Oh my goodness, it's the UK. Don't they say like two-tier starboard? I think like the faith in policing has been undermined long ago. Around 13,000 were recorded in the year. Holy shit, it's like Reddit where everyone is reporting. It's like Blue Sky, isn't it? Ex-detective says that the guidelines suggest you should only intervene in cases like this where it's fear of escalation. Who had the fear of escalation over a bad haircut? I generally don't know why the police are given so much leeway, like so much power in the UK, if you will. Like in most other countries, police work is more like a protocol, and you gotta follow the protocol, and it's like leaves very little for the officer to interpret on the spot. You know, but for some reason in the UK, I see like a lot of police officers having a lot of leeway when I read these articles. The report was made online and later withdrawn. Reform MP says that our police have lost control of our streets and now their bosses have lost control of their minds. Oh goodness, it's 2024. It's like, where were you like 5 years ago when this shit was starting? Like the moment you saw police using the rainbow flag, right, and painting their cars rainbow and shit, like that was the moment you had to wonder. It's like, what is going on? Like, why is the police doing this? Who's paying them to do something like this? Like, the police should be apolitical. You're representing every single citizen. Yes, the LGBT, the allies, the homophobes, yeah, like, as long as they're a British citizen and a taxpayer, it doesn't matter their ideology, it doesn't matter how they vote. They need to have faith in the police. The police cannot be viewed as being part of an ideology or another. I mean, that's, you know, how we do it in Eastern Europe. In the UK, it's a little bit different, it seems. But the moment you see, like, the police doing that, then, well, trust in the authorities is lost. I notice how they're not doing it in the United States, right? Notice how they're not doing it in China. Notice how they're not doing it in India. Or if it happens, it's like something very fringe. But it's not as common as you see it in the UK. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.